Welcome to a series that I'm calling Summer with Craft. If you missed the last episode, which is kind of an episode 0, I talked a little bit about why I'm using Craft and why I like it so much. I gave 5 reasons for that. You can go check out that video as kind of an introduction to this series. Today I want to share really the first episode of me working with Craft this year and taking the summer to develop a system for success. In my last video I mentioned that when I started using Craft back in April exclusively, I went in with a clean slate. I'd been using Notion for over a year at that point and lots of other notes app in the past as well. And when I went to Craft, I decided, you know what, I'm going to take a clean slate approach and I'm going to only bring in what I need and really develop a system and try to use Craft the way that they want me to use it instead of fighting against a system and bringing in a whole lot of cruft and old stuff. What if I just brought in what I needed and what was good? And so I'm trying to build a system for success. Again, everything is not in Craft yet. So as this process continues, as we go through this summer together, we're going to get in deeper and deeper and deeper into our note system and how we gather material and resources and links and books and authors and all that kind of stuff. Today I want to share this idea of creating a system for success, because if your system is bad, you will not succeed in note-taking, and there's no app that's going to fix that. So if you used to use Evernote but you don't like it anymore and you want to use Craft or you want to use Obsidian or Roam or whatever, that alone is not going to fix your problem. Creating a system is going to fix your problem. Recently, Craft released some new features as well, and I want to share some of those with you, one of them being the daily note, which is super cool and works with my success system that I've built. So if we go to Craft, I'm sharing my screen with you here, and you can see I've got some videos here in my inbox that I need to sort, and this is the one that I'm actually building all this series off of. So we can just kind of go behind the curtain here. This is kind of a meta situation, right? We're talking about Summer of Craft. Here's this first note. Again, something you can do, you can star notes, and then you can see all those in the starred section. Of course, there's all your documents. That's where everything's just kind of going to live. So I'm going to go here and go to this note that I started. And you can see the beginnings of this note. I was mowing the grass several weeks ago and had this idea to do this series called Summer of Craft. And I started thinking about how to fix your note-making system. There's some toggles. Here's some stuff I want to cover. Or what do we do? Adding value, all these kind of things. And then I started using Craft to break down these weeks into little bite-sized things. And so each one of these cards is easily movable. Cards can become pages. They're all searchable, but cards don't show up in this all document list. So if I go up here, I'm not going to see any of these cards. But again, you can see them kind of in the styling there. Cards are cool because you can drag them around. All the features in Craft you can just drag around. And so there was episode 0, getting started with Craft. So now here we are in week 1, episode 1, creating a system for success plus a daily notes update. So these are the things that we want to talk about today in this video. And I want to share 4 ideas on how to build a system for success. Number 1, you want to determine what's wrong with your old system. There's a reason that your system didn't work, and starting a new app is not actually going to fix what's wrong. And so if you bring in all of your sort of bad note-taking habits, it's going to break this system as well. So you want to consider, hey, what are some pressure points? What are some failure points of my old system? Because if I'm going to meet this new app and it's the same as the old app, that's not going to get anywhere at all. I started with Craft as a blank slate. I didn't bring anything with me, and that was a specific, meaningful choice that I made to come at this clean. But I did bring in some structural things, and I know how I like to use notes and folders and things like that. Craft doesn't have tags yet, but when it does, I will utilize those in some capacity, probably not like I used to with Evernote. I was big into tags back in the Evernote days. There was a lot of discussion, if you were a part of that scene back in the early 2010s, about tags versus folders, and there's like team folder, hey, you gotta have folders, and there were like, you only need 3 folders, and everything's in tags and custom searches. it doesn't really matter. What matters is you being able to find what you need. And so if your system is broken before, it will still be broken. Is it too cluttered? Is there too much structure? Because you can have way too much structure. But again, you also need some structure. So I don't really use my all documents feature. If I come over here and look at my, all documents, I don't even have a ton of notes, but this is already overwhelming. It's got all kinds of thoughts and ideas and messages and notes and meeting notes and articles. All that stuff is thrown together. That's not useful. What is useful is being able to quickly drill down to something, or using the search feature. I just hit Command O there. You can always change the layout and all that kind of stuff. And those are craft specific things. When you think about your system, consider what's wrong with your old system. What's not sticking, and what do you want to get rid of when you're switching to a new note system. Another thing that you can do is to declare note bankruptcy. Some people may have just tons of notes that they just don't need anymore. It's just confusing and old and useless, but it's going to clog up your system. And so here's my suggestion for you. Take all your notes and put them somewhere safely. Say goodbye to them, export them out of that into text files or markdown files if you can, or keep them all. I still have over 1,200 notes in Evernote, and sometimes I need them. So they're not gone forever. If you find yourself looking for a file, bring it with you. Come grab that. But you don't have to take everything with you. The address to your beach house that you stayed at 10 years ago in Evernote, it doesn't need to stay in your system anymore. You can archive it, you can do something else, but it doesn't have to come with you. We want a note system that's going to be nimble and fast and available to make notes, to take down information, and then to process that information easily and quickly. That's what's going to help you succeed in this endeavor. So declare note bankruptcy. It's okay. Just like people declare email bankruptcy, there's like a special holiday every year where you can say, sorry, everything in my inbox is gone, and we're going to start fresh. You can do that with notes. Don't delete your old notes, but put them somewhere safe that you can access, and then if you need them, you can bring them back. The next point would be to add what is good. So let's bring back something that's good. Inboxes, they're good. You need to have somewhere to add content. Craft has this really easy way right here where if you just make a new note, you can put it in your inbox. This is stuff that I need to process. I've got thoughts from WWDC, some notes, some meeting notes that I need to process. This is a good reminder for me each week of things that I need to work on. I think it was David Allen that said, if you don't have an inbox in your life, everywhere in your life is an inbox. And that is so true for me. If I don't have a place that I can put things until I'm ready to process them, then I'm going to have a mess, right? If you come in and there's a place for you to put mail in your house, even if that box is cluttered, you know where the mail is. For me, I use something called a weekly review. Again, that's a GTD thing as well. And it allows me on a regular basis to sit down and to sort through my inbox, to sort through my weekly notes, to sort through everything that I have been working on, and then put that in the right place. And Craft is so easy and fast and easy to use that it's not hard to add notes and it's not hard to take content. We talked about in that first video how easy it was to add notes now and fix them later. And so I just spend time each week kind of cleaning up Craft and beautifying it, right? Making it look nice. That's one of the features of Craft, is that it looks amazing. It is such a cool Mac and iOS and iPad OS app. Utilize it. Utilize the cards like I've got here on these cards and these systems. It just looks nice. So add what is good. Add places. Find a way to use your inbox. Find a way to engage with that content, because if you don't, you're going to miss out. Number 4, this one is super important to me. I love new shiny things. I love trying new things. The thrill of new is so invigorating to me. When we're talking about making a good note system, though, it's okay to be boring. It's okay to just be the boring. That is a mantra that I've been telling myself this whole time, is, hey, it's okay to just have a boring system, have a boring routine. Give into those systems. Give into the weekly review. Give into folder structures. Give into organizing your notes in a way that you can find them. It is going to help you immensely if you can create a system that is boring. It may not be flashy. You don't have to color code everything. You don't have to name everything perfectly. Find a boring and good system for how things work. I think about George R. R. Martin, author of Game of Thrones, allegedly still writes all of those novels on some old computer using some super old software. It's not even connected to the internet. It's functional, it's comfortable, he's distraction free, and that's how he types. It doesn't even have spell check on it, right? That's what he's used to. He's written thousands and thousands and thousands of words in that system, and he's not going to break it. So when he wants to write, he opens up that old computer, sits down at that keyboard, the familiar typing, the familiar face. It's okay to do boring things because at the end of the day, the system that you use is to actually get work done, right? I'm not working on craft for no reason. I'm working on craft so I can be productive and actually do the work, not just work on the working of the work. Here's how you know you have a good and boring system. When you need to find something, when you can instantly search for it and find it, you've accomplished that. The other day, I needed something. I was like, I can't remember what note that was in or who I was talking to about that. I went to my documents, hit Command-O, searched for that phrase. Instantly, it came up. And I thought, this is why I am investing in this system. This is why I'm taking meeting notes. This is why I'm writing all of this down. Not so I can remember it now, but so I can remember it later. The goal of a good note-taking and note-making system is that you have the information you want when you need it. That is a boring and great system. Boring doesn't mean bad, and when I talk about boring, make it as aesthetically pleasing as you want. Do all the things you want to make it you, but don't let the making of that take away from the note-taking aspect. Craft is always adding new features. That's one of the things that I love about Craft. And they had a big update, 1.6.1, where they added something called daily notes, and they have calendar integrations. And let me show you that really quickly because this affected my note-making system and my system for success. So right here, you've got kind of your normal list of things. And if you click right here, you can see this calendar view. And now you can go back in time and see your calendar events, and you can also each day add a daily note. And so if I come here to today, I can make a note right here called today, and I can even come over here and cycle through these other notes in the past. A band played a show on Saturday, took a picture, snapped it in there, stuck it in there to remember. It makes it so easy to do that. Now, before daily notes came out, I wanted to keep daily notes, and that's something I liked about Notion. I mentioned that in the last video, I think, as well. And so I made a new workspace called Journal. And in that space, I just have daily journals. And that's really all that's in there. And when I did that, I didn't want to clutter my notes. I didn't want to clutter everything with daily notes, but I wanted a space to have those. And so that was how I accomplished that in Craft. Again, in Notion, it was easy to make just another database for my journal that I could link to. And the other space was useful, but you know what? It was a friction point because I wasn't using it every day because I had to switch to that other section, and I didn't like that. So I'm pumped about daily notes because now I can use that as my journal space as well as a scratch pad. I said down here a place for MITs, which is like most important tasks. What are those kind of top 3 things that you need to do? And those daily notes, again, are notes in your library, but they're not in your documents. But you can always link them. And so I came here and added one. This was from June the 3rd. I just got my AirTag in, so I took a picture of that and added something about the Craft update. And I can click here and go and see that. You can make checklists. I kept some here to let me see that they weren't finished yet. You can click those off. One quick note about this. If you have tried the daily notes, and this didn't happen to me on iOS or iPadOS, it only happened on macOS, you can give calendar permissions right here under Customize. I have them all in here now, but you could say allow calendars. On my Mac, it didn't bring them up. I couldn't see them. And so here's what I ended up having to do. I had to go into my system preferences and revoke that access in the security settings and then allow it again. And then everything showed up. So maybe that's fixed by now, but if you are using Craft on your Mac and you're like, hey, I want to use daily notes, but I can't see what's happening. Try revoking that and then giving it access again. One really neat thing about this as well is you can use these calendar events to instantly create notes, and watch how cool this is. So if I go to this note from yesterday and we had this meeting, I can just drag this in, and now it also gives me information from my calendar, which is just super cool. We had this meeting at a local co-work place, and it brought in all that information, and I can add my meeting notes here. That is so nice. Now I can go back and I can see all of that. So if you're someone who likes to take notes in a kind of daily fashion, where you use maybe something like a field notes guide or a scratch pad, this is a feature for you. And so it kind of lives in two separate worlds, but they can merge together. So for me, I use daily notes as a scratch pad. Most important tasks, things I want to remember, links, things to add and sort later, and then I'm going to bring that into notes in my actual craft document section when I need them. I hope this video was helpful. Again, we're going to be diving deeper and deeper into craft and note-taking. I'm trying to take it one kind of step at a time, but considering your system is a huge first step. Don't just jump in and start using every single feature. Maybe take a piece of paper and just write out, hey, what is most important? How am I going to name things? What am I going to do to create a system for success? Try that, see if it helps. I hope this has been helpful. I'm excited to go on this journey with you. If you have any questions, drop them in the comment. Thank you so much for being a part of this. We'll talk soon.